Imagine finding yourself in a familiar place, yet feeling as if you've never been there before. Suddenly, the room you've spent countless hours in feels alien, as though you've been abruptly transported into a stranger's life. This is not a plot from a science fiction novel, but a real-life experience of a person we'll call Alex. Alex was just going about his typical day when he began to feel a strange disconnect from his surroundings. The world around him seemed unreal, as if he was watching himself from a distance. Fear and confusion washed over him. He felt detached, like he was observing his own life like a spectator, unable to engage or connect with his own actions or thoughts. This was not a one-time occurrence for Alex. These unsettling episodes would come and go, casting a shadow of uncertainty and discomfort over his life. This unsettling experience is a glimpse into the world of dissociation and depersonalization. So, what are dissociation and depersonalization, you may ask? Well, let's delve into these terms to understand them better. Dissociation is a psychological experience where a person feels detached from their current reality. It's like being a passenger in your own body, observing your actions and emotions from a distance. This can sometimes feel like living in a dream or a movie where you're aware of your surroundings, but they seem unreal or distorted. On the other hand, depersonalization is a specific type of dissociation. It's where you feel detached, not just from your environment, but from your very self. You might look in the mirror and feel like the person staring back isn't you, or you might feel like your emotions, thoughts, or physical sensations are not your own. Often, both dissociation and depersonalization are triggered by intense stressors such as trauma or drug use. In the face of overwhelming situations, our mind uses these mechanisms as a form of psychological escape. It's as if the mind is saying, "This is too much for me to handle right now, so I'm going to step back a bit." However, these experiences aren't just limited to these triggers. They can also occur spontaneously, without any apparent reason, making them all the more unsettling. It's important to remember that while these experiences can be disturbing, they are not indicative of a person losing touch with reality. Rather, they are signs that our mind is trying to protect us from emotional distress. Both conditions can be incredibly confusing and frightening, but understanding them is the first step towards recovery. By recognizing these experiences for what they are, we can begin to navigate the path towards healing. What does it feel like to experience these conditions? What impact do they have on a person's life? It's a question that might have crossed your mind. Dissociation and depersonalization can manifest as feeling detached from oneself, almost like you're observing yourself from an outsider's perspective. Picture this: you're going through the motions of your day, but it feels like you're just a spectator watching a character in a movie. It's a strange sensation, almost like being a passenger in your own body. Another common symptom is an altered perception of surroundings. Familiar places might suddenly seem foreign or unreal. You could be sitting in your own living room, a place you know like the back of your hand, but it feels unfamiliar, as if you're seeing it for the first time. Everything around you might seem surreal, like you're walking through a dream. For some, these conditions can lead to taking on a different identity. Imagine waking up one day and feeling like you're a completely different person with different likes, dislikes, and memories. It's a jolting experience that can be hard to comprehend, even for the person going through it. To give you a clearer picture, let's consider the case of Jane. Jane started feeling detached from herself after a traumatic event. Her surroundings often seemed unreal, and she sometimes felt like she was a different person. This not only affected her personal relationships, but also her performance at work. She would forget conversations, lose track of time, and struggle with tasks that used to be second nature to her. While these symptoms can be daunting, it's important to remember that they are not a life sentence. Dissociation and depersonalization don't exist in isolation. They are often associated with various mental health conditions. Let's delve into some of these associated conditions. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is one such condition. Individuals with PTSD have often experienced a traumatic event, which can result in symptoms like flashbacks, nightmares, and severe anxiety. During these intense moments, a person might dissociate or experience depersonalization as a way to cope with the overwhelming emotions. Borderline personality disorder, or BPD, is another condition where these experiences may surface. BPD is characterized by patterns of instability in relationships, self-image, and emotions, often leading to impulsive actions. During periods of intense emotional distress, people with BPD might dissociate, creating a disconnection from their identity or reality. Other conditions that might feature dissociation or depersonalization include panic disorder, where individuals experience recurring, unexpected panic attacks, and obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD, where individuals have recurring unwanted thoughts or behaviors. In both these disorders, these experiences can act as a psychological escape mechanism during periods of intense distress. Furthermore, let's not forget dissociative disorders themselves, such as dissociative identity disorder, where individuals may have two or more distinct personality states, or dissociative amnesia, where they cannot recall important personal information. In these disorders, dissociation and depersonalization are not just symptoms, but integral aspects of the conditions themselves. Each of these disorders are unique with their own set of symptoms and experiences. But the common thread is the presence of dissociation or depersonalization as a coping mechanism. Understanding the link between these conditions can help in the diagnosis and treatment process. By recognizing these experiences as potential symptoms of a broader mental health condition, we can take the first step towards seeking professional help and developing healthy coping skills. Because remember, there is hope, and we are resilient. Living with dissociation and depersonalization can be challenging, but it's crucial to know that help is available. No one should feel alone or helpless in their struggle. And there's one thing that's for sure. These conditions are treatable, and recovery is absolutely possible. Let's talk about therapy first. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is often the first line of treatment. It's a form of psychotherapy that helps individuals challenge and change unhelpful patterns of thinking and behavior. It can also help individuals develop coping strategies to manage symptoms and reduce the impact of these conditions on their daily lives. EMDR is a trauma-focused, proven treatment approach that's been found effective. You need a properly trained therapist that understands your story, as well as the modality. Trust is the foundation. It's particularly helpful for those whose dissociation or depersonalization is linked to past trauma. EMDR works by helping the brain process traumatic memories and reduce their impact. And then there's medication. While there's no specific drug to treat dissociation or depersonalization directly, medication can help manage associated symptoms like anxiety, depression, or panic attacks. It's important, though, to remember that medication should always be used under the guidance of a healthcare professional. But the first step in any treatment plan is seeking help. If you or someone you know is experiencing symptoms of dissociation or depersonalization, it's important to reach out to a mental health professional. They can provide a proper diagnosis and guide you towards the most effective treatment options. And remember, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to need support. Taking that first step towards recovery can be daunting, but it's also a sign of strength. It's a sign of resilience. Recovery is possible, and with the right help, individuals can learn to manage their symptoms and lead fulfilling lives. Despite the challenges, there is a message of hope. We've seen countless stories of individuals who have faced the harrowing experiences of dissociation and depersonalization. And yet, they've come out stronger on the other side. They've navigated the stormy seas of their minds, learned to recognize the signs, and developed coping strategies that work for them. These individuals are not exceptions. They are evidence of the resilience that we all possess. They are proof that, with the right help and support, recovery is more than a distant dream. It's a reachable reality. It's a journey, yes, and not always an easy one. But it's a journey worth taking. We must remember that seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our strength. It's about taking control, about choosing to fight, about deciding to reclaim our lives from the clutches of these conditions. And remember, it's okay to stumble. It's okay to falter. What matters is that we pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and continue moving forward. Because that's what resilience is all about. Remember, there is hope, people can and do recover, and we are resilient. So don't hesitate to seek help, and don't lose hope. Please subscribe, like, and follow. You are not alone.